Now that we can delete jobs in our Firestore database, it's time to hook things up by adding a swipe to delete gesture to the items in our list. And to do that, we are going to wrap our job list tile with a new widget called dismissible, like this. And when using dismissible, we need to provide a few arguments. And since we are using this to delete items, we can give it a background of container with color of colors.red, like this. And we should also add a direction argument, which takes a dismiss direction. And this has a number of options. And here I suggest that we use end to start. And if I open the documentation, I can read that by using end to start, we can dismiss by dragging in the reverse of the reading direction. But if you want, and it makes sense in your own apps, you can use any of these other values. Okay, so the next argument that we want to add is called onDismissed. And this is a closure that gives us a direction. And for now, I'm just going to leave this as an empty callback, but we will use this shortly to delete a job from the database. And finally, there is one very important argument that we need to add, and that argument is called key. Now, this is an optional argument that comes directly from the widget base class, and this means that every single widget in Flutter can take a key as an argument. And in general, we don't need to supply a key when we create widgets. But if you remember, we have already seen an example of providing a key when we created a form widget in the previous section. And when using dismissible, the key argument is actually required because dismissible widgets are commonly used in lists. And if you want, you can read more about using key with dismissible over here. But for now, all we care about is that we need to provide a key, and this should use a unique string. So to do that, we could name this job dash and then $job.id, because the job ID itself is a unique string. Okay, so we have now added all the arguments that we needed to configure our dismissible widget. And the last step that we need to do is to hook up the onDismissed callback with our database call. And we could hook this up to the database directly, but I suggest that we create a new method instead, so that we can handle any errors when deleting values from Firestore. So this is going to use an arrow notation to call a delete method, which will take the context and the job, like this. And then I can create a method from this. I'm going to actually take this and move it above, over here. And then I can add a return type of future or type void. And I'm going to make this method an async method, like this. And inside the body, we can get our final database equals provider.of with database of context, like this. And then we can call await database dot delete job with job, like this. And since this method could throw an exception, then I'm going to surround this code with a try, and then an on-platform exception catch e, and I need to remember to import services when I do that, like this. And as usual, I can handle any platform exception with a platform exception alert dialog. So to save myself some typing, I'm just going to copy the code from here, from the edit job page, and I can paste it in here. And I can import platform exception as well. And now that we added this, we can hot reload and check if everything works. So I can open the console, and then I can swipe an item away, and this is removed from the list. And in addition to that, I see a delete log on the console, which tells me that the job has been removed from Firestore. And if I open the Firestore console, I can try to delete one more job, like this. and I can see that the collection of jobs has been updated. And this means that the stream builder that we have over here will receive a new value which contains the list of all jobs minus the one that we have just deleted. And this is all we need to do to delete items from a list which is backed by Firestore. And when I implemented this for the first time myself, I was surprised at how easy it was, because all we have to do is to add a dismissible widget and provide the appropriate arguments and connect the onDismissed callback to an asynchronous call that deletes the job from the database. And because this is a real-time app, then the stream builder is updated automatically. So if you want, you can implement this same functionality for deleting items in your own apps. And if you do, make sure that your dismissible widget has a key with a unique string, like I have done over here. Otherwise, the whole thing might not work. By the way, if you want to reveal multiple options with the same gesture, then you can use a great package called Flutter Slidable, which is created by the community. So feel free to use this in your own apps if dismissible is too limited for your use case. Okay, so we have reached the end of this section, and at this point we have implemented all the functionality that was needed in order to create, read, update, and delete jobs with Firestore. And we have learned a good deal about list views and forms in Flutter. Not only that, but we have created some very useful classes such as Firestore Database and our List Items Builder. And these represent some solid foundations that will make it easier to extend our time tracking application and support additional features. Okay, so let's continue on the next video.